Hello, Facebook Live. What's happening here? Marcus, I'm going to talk about bulletproof staff training. It is Thursday morning, the 13th. No, it's not the 13th. It's the 18th. This is the 18th of July, and bulletproof staff training. In the restaurant industry, when they post in these forums, when people say what's the biggest challenge in the restaurant industry or in any industry right now, in any business, staff is probably the one that comes up 9 out of 10 times. Staff, and lack of staff and untrainability of staff, lack of quality staff, and people just complain about staff. True, the staffing situation has not gotten easier; it's gotten worse, and there's several different reasons. We're not going to jump into that, but what happens when you do have staff in your door? What happens when they are working for you? Training is an essential must. Training is something you do, not something you did. And a lot of restaurants, a lot of businesses, then they can train their staff once, do an orientation once, and then let them loose and not worry about follow-up and role-playing and workshops and gateways and doing all these things that keep improving the staff's skills. And then a lot of restaurants or a lot of businesses don't even take it a step further, where they start mixing in the employees, the team members' personal goals, and helping them just get the edge in life in general. So there's a lot of things that you can be doing as a business owner to be training your staff. And I've talked to business owners that have been in business 40, 50 years, and like, there's no training my staff. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So there are a lot of key techniques in training staff and training your team members that I'm going to do that's my next speech, actually. 2020, I'm submitting proposals now for a lot of the food shows, restaurant shows, on bulletproof staff training. I have an amazing staff. I have a great staff. Do I have slackers on staff? Of course I have some slackers on staff. Like there's always, not slackers, but I guess there's a weak link. There's always a weakest link that you have, which every team has. But I got to tell you, there's been people that I've had on staff that have worked for me for 3-4 years that I wanted to get rid of in the beginning, and my wife was like, no, don't get rid of them. Let's keep working with them. Let's keep working with them. They turned out to be amazing employees. So even I've made bad judgments in the past, and of course my wife was here to balance me out. But I want to talk about one thing that is crucial, for one element here today, which is crucial for staff training. Of course, staff training is something you do, not something you did. So it's on a weekly, a daily, it's a regularly scheduled, whether it's 5 minutes or whether it's an hour long or a half a day. It is something that is absolutely necessary to bring your staff and your performance, and your product, your service to the next level. It's always a constant. And again, restaurants are not the greatest at this. Some restaurants will do a pre-shift roll call where they talk about the food or what's going on that night, the reservations. But really what needs to be happening is, constant reinforcement about what is Chardonnay, how to pour wine, what is medium rare, what is gluten-free, what is celiac disease. All these things need to be reinforced constantly. What's the address of the place? What's the telephone number? And I just did this in staff meeting the other day. I said, everybody here needs to know the address. This is the thing that's on, that's the thing everybody needs to know. And somebody goes, well, people just look it up on their phone, right? I'm like, well, you would think people would look it up on their phone. You would think, but people, not everybody does that. And sure enough, within 1 week, somebody at the end of the bar walks from the end of the bar, walks all the way to the end of the bar and says to me, what is your address here? All right. He didn't look it up. He could have looked it up, but still, so some people just aren't that tech savvy or don't even think about doing that. So, there's certain things that are so vitally important. Even though the staff member had a benefit, had a logistical reason. Yeah, logical reason. Hey, why don't people look on their phone? Well, yeah, why don't them? But they still don't look on their phone. So we still need to know things like that. So, good morning to everybody who's on. I see Jeff Marcus on. It's early. Where Jeff is. Jeff's in Colorado. It's 5:30. Good morning, Jeff. So, one element that I found that is essential for bulletproof staff training, and this is something that you cannot do overnight. This is something that's an ongoing process, just exactly like training itself. So here we go. Every week you should be having some type of official roll call, gateway, workshop. Workshop's a great word, by the way. Workshop's a great buzzword. As soon as you say meeting, staff meeting, people are like, oh, staff meeting, like, what's this about? Workshop is a better way to word something. So for every workshop you do, for example, we do a workshop every Saturday. We require staff to attend a workshop. We do that in the afternoon. And we figure we do it on our busiest day because that's when everybody's there on our busiest day. So we pick the slowest time on our busiest day to do a workshop. And it usually happens about 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock on Saturdays, 4 o'clock, whatever it is. And it happens on Saturday afternoon between the lunch and dinner shift. And what I've been doing is I've been recording each staff workshop, just like this. I put on the laptop computer right in front of me, and the staff is on the other side. And what we do is I record it on a Zoom link. So if there's no staff that's not there, can log in right there live and watch the staff training from wherever they're at in their location, and we can see their face and they can comment back and talk back. Then we take that link and we send it out to all the team members on Monday or Tuesday and say, here's Saturday staff workshop in its entirety. So it might be a 30-minute video that they can actually log into and watch, whether they were there or whether they weren't. Now, here's